need to tell everyone what happened at Drake's Spine. And I'm going to need Otto's help.
Hold on, new stuff. I'm excited to do those later.
Trouble with your gear, or what do you want?
Oh, now I can upgrade the defender. Maybe, maybe Goots just wasn't able to do it. Is it worth doing, though? This is obviously worth doing.
Not my best work, but it'll do.
Behemoth Shackle. 2 HP. I gotta spend 256 bloody hides, 257 ashes, and one of my 2 behemoth shackles for 2 HP and 3 defense. One 1/100th of my defense and 1/1000th of my HP. Why? Why is it so bad? It's not even a balance thing, because when you level up, you get like 50 HP. So why can't the equipment give you like the equivalent of a level up at least? There's no reason for that. There's literally no reason why these shouldn't give you stats equivalent to a level up. That's not going to ruin the balance of the game at all. Or at the very least, make these give me the equivalent of a level up and then just increase the XP normal curve a little bit to the right. Like, okay, it takes you a little longer to go up a level now, but the equipment actually does things. Like, come on. It's first grade, SpongeBob. Wombology, the study of Wumbo. You've made RPGs before, Square Enix. I'm not even going to upgrade this. It's 5 attack and 5 stagger. What's the point? And I'm going to make, as soon as I get one more Orichalcum, or one more Darksteel, I'm going to get the best weapon in the game.
Anything else?
What's even the point? Defender plus... Bro. You're Bro, I guarantee Defender plus 2 is the same.
Yep.
What if it's not? What if it's like super good?
Yeah, that should do you.
There you go, plus 15. Oh boy. Actually, it's not even plus 15. Because it's not equipped. It's plus 10.
Or saying 40, do you?
It's plus 10. It's plus 15 total. Why does this one take, like, less materials?
Yeah, that should do you.
Alright, we did it. Huge numbers, boys. We're talking huge numbers. Did you leave yet?
I will not forget this
Oh
kindness,
my
my
God.
lord. I shall go to Eastport, but as soon as the rebuilding work is complete.
While the going was slow and not without the occasional run-in with some straggling orc, I saw Edda back safe to the Shadow Coast where Mid was waiting kindly with the Enterprise. On the voyage home, I like to think the poor lass opened up a little, telling us about her life and the life she wants for her baby. But I suppose it's up to us now to make certain the little one gets it. Gets what? Is she around somewhere? I want to go find her. Edda. If I was a pregnant lady, where would I go? Amateur Twitcher. Is this me?
I did it, Sid. I made friends with all the animals in the hideaway. But you know what I'd really like? My own goblin. Or maybe a marble or a bomb.
I want that hat.
A big one. That or a bander curl, but not a cactuar. They're too prickly.
That massive hat. That thing probably gives like 15 HP. If I were a pregnant lady, I would want food. Yeah, I should probably check the dining hall. We saw cactuars in the desert, like a picture of a cactuar in the desert, I think. Or it was one of the shops or something. But that's it.
Miss Shirley! Miss Shirley!
Miss Charlie. Is this girl still like super thirsty?
All this time, my heart has wandered hither and thither in search of the perfect companion. When all along he was here, standing right beside me.
Yikes. Yikes. Double yikes. Triple yikes. Quadruple yikes. Get me out of here. Edda? Is that Edda? That's not Edda.
His tea stopped the fits.
It's Margot. Gross.
You nearly collapsed back there. It's just a touch of the vapors. I'll be fine.
It's just a touch of the vapors. It's just a touch of the vapors. Ta-da! Yeah!
Thank you, my lord, for taking me in. Everyone here has been so kind. It reminds me of home.
Look at this, we got Edda and Yote in the same room. Best room in the game. Nice photo. The gang's all here. Why am I looking at her? I'm not taking that picture. Why is he looking at her like that? Creeping me out. Alright, let's just chat.
Still alive, I see. Something tells me that eyesore on the horizon is your doing. How'd you manage that?
It's a long story. One that I'd rather only tell once.
Oh, here we go. Get everyone in. We got an exposition dump one more time. We gotta get everyone caught up to speed. This is actually kind of cute, though. Everyone's here.
Is this everyone?
Even Uncle's here.
As I'm sure you've all guessed, the crystal which now commands the eastern skies was summoned by Ultima.
Yeah, this is the theme that plays when you pick the game.
Though the significance of that name is as yet unclear.
What does it matter what it's called? Its emergence tore Twinside asunder and wiped my homeland from the map.
Our bad. Okay, I'm sorry. That was really cool. That was really cool how Dion was like, I know how you feel. Like, that was so nice. That was so cool how they put Dion right there.
The Dominion spires can be found in the oldest of Valisthian records. But to the best of my knowledge, none provide any hint as to their true nature. That they would prove the horns of some slumbering demon. Well,
The Dominion's demise was at least quick. Elsewhere, the Republican army cannot hope to contain the chaos engulfing Randalar. Canva is in flames, and the Empire.
Our allies are crying out for answers. I've sent the curse breakers to give them what assurances we can, but right now that amounts to fuck all.
They wouldn't be able to stop what the skies have started in any case. People here and across the realm grow sicker with every passing day.
Could it be that this new Mother Crystal is like the others? That it draws upon the land's ether? It certainly looked that way from stone here.
If that were true, it would explain the hastening spread of the Blight since the crystal's appearance. Would it not?
Didn't it appear like 2 seconds ago?
And as the land's ether slowly rises to the surface, it pools, corrupting all who cannot channel its energies. Archay above, ether floods below, and in the middle, here we languish, hopelessly entrapped.
It's all right. When we faced him at Stone here, Ultima told us his true power quickens in the Halls of Origin. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to continue. If we are to stop him, we will have to find a way into the crystal.
How are we going to manage that then? It's up in the sky. And fast as she is, the Enterprise can't fly.
It's a lot to take in, and I reckon we'd all benefit from some time to clear our heads. The answer will come to us. Don't you worry. Ain't that right, Clive?
Right. That's right.
Well, go on then. Bugger off. Same goes for you, Clive. You won't solve anything like this. Trust me. Go and get some fresh air, eh?
Aldo, the voice of reason.
Thank you.
He's like the dad that just says like, walk it off. Just go get some fresh air, it'll just come to you. Like, he doesn't give you the answers, he just... He's just like the... not the unhelpful dad, but like the... Just go outside and, you know... You'll figure it out. Doesn't actually give you the answer, but just... You'll figure it out. You're smart, you'll figure it out. The emotionally supportive dad, yeah.
Ultima may have created us, but he doesn't make us who we are. Only we can do that. And if he would have us fight for our survival, so be it. It's what we've been doing all along.
Much like Ultima himself, it would seem. His new world being naught but a means to survive. And so, we must contend to decide which of us shall inherit the land. Should Ultima prevail, it will mean death for us all. Of that, we can be certain. But even should he fail, what world awaits us? A withered, godless place where our newfound freedom will most like prove a chain in itself.
Well, that may be. But a chain can always be broken. As long as one has the will to break it. It won't be easy. It may take generations. Centuries of suffering. And that is if everyone plays their part. But it will happen. And when it does, it will be on our terms. That is the world that awaits us.
Indeed. And what better world could one wish for?
But first, we have to reach that crystal.
Then it's a good thing I have wings.
You can barely stand, let alone fly. And only the Founder knows what horrors await in those skies. You certain about this?
Am I certain? I am the Phoenix. I will do what I must. This is our fight. Remember?
All right. I yield. But only what you must, yes? I'm still your sworn shield.
That you are.
And what of my wings? Lest you forget, you go to stand against a god. I would not have you succumb to fatigue before the fight begins. Ifrit, your brother mentioned that some few of the dominants who had lost their power to you were still able to prime. Is that true?
It is.
But only by going insane.
But their icons no longer submitted to their will.
Then mine will have to be stronger. That you both might save your strength for the battle to come.
You don't have to do this.
If you do, there's a chance you might lose all you have left.
And what have I but regret? My life ended in the Dominion. I fear death no more. Besides, I would have words with Ultima. He has much to answer for.
We are in your debt, Dion.
We can speak of debts when this is over.
Dude, why is Dion like the best character in the game? I was gonna say earlier, and I didn't say it. I was gonna say, I really hope Dion doesn't just disappear now. Like after when he came back and he helped us fight those guys. I was like, I hope that's not the end of his story. And then here we go. It's all been building up to this. This is why he came back. This is why he's still with us. It's not just because like, oh, we need another party member. This is his moment to reclaim, to redeem himself from when he destroyed the Empire. They've been all building, it's been building up to this. When the medicine girl saved him, I was like, what's the point? Like, his story should be, I'm glad it's not, but his story should be over, right? But this is what it was leading up to.
And it's come to terms with that.
It's brilliant.
That doesn't mean that we have to, does it, Clive?
Time to talk to Jill. I only hope she understands.
She won't. No way! We finally get to use this! My entire life has been leading up to this moment. The entire game I've been waiting for this to be used. The balcony.
Come to wish on a star.
That might not be such a bad idea. This is it, Jill. You know what I have to do. Why I have to do it. There's no turning back now. This is where our journey was leading us. Where it will end, for better or worse.
I could pray to Metia for you. But you'll be all right, won't you, Clive? You always are.
I did promise we'd watch the moon together.
I'll be waiting.
What a cool little, like, undertone there. So when they originally were on that balcony when they were kids, she prayed to Metia because he wouldn't, and she was worried about him. She was like, I have to do this because you're trying to be his shield, and I'm afraid for you. And now, fast forward all the way to now, they're on the balcony again, and she says, I could pray to Metia, but you got this, you know?
It's almost time. Better make sure I haven't forgotten anything.
You see what I see? Oh no! It keeps getting worse. I saw the two and it was like, uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Alright. How many are there? Oh my god, there's two over there too. Wait. Oh no, there's four. Oh no, there's two in here. In case you haven't noticed, your poor hound spends all his time of late on the rear deck whimpering like Gav in his cups. Something ain't right, and my gut tells me it's not to do with the supply of antelope bones. We gotta feed the doggo again?
What is it this time, Torgal?
What is it this time? So I was gonna say, I really like the stakes here. I feel like they've done such a great job of raising the stakes to the point where we really care about what's going to happen. Some of the old Final Fantasy games, one of the things I can point to as being kind of a negative is that sometimes the ending is a bit abrupt, and it's like, well, gotta save the world now. Most of the game tends to be a character-driven plot, which is great, and I love character-driven plots more than anything. But then they don't really know what to do with the ending, and they just kind of say, all right, well, the world's in danger now. But this game, it really feels like I've been raising the stakes throughout the whole game, and we've spent so much time dealing with the locals and helping people and trying to create a better world that now that Ultima threatens that world, we truly want to see it saved. We've spent so much of the game making the world a better place, it would be a shame for it all to end now. You know what I mean? And that's been a focus of a lot of the side quests is this whole idea of like one good deed leads to a better world, and all these small little deeds you do slowly contributes to an overall better world for everyone. So what a shame it would be to do all this work throughout the entire game and then have Ultima just reset it or end it, right? So such a cool, like, I feel like the stakes are truly at a great point where I want to save the world. It's not just a, well, I'm the good guy, I have to save the world. You know, it feels like we're part of this and we want to save the world for all the people that we've helped up to this point. Reluctant as I am to add to your burdens, I would ask your aid in a personal matter, albeit one that may be beneficial to your cause. There exist ancient texts deemed so injurious to modern thought that mere possession of is deemed a crime, and it was a chance encounter with one such tome, from a distance, that sparked within me the scholastic curiosity which burns to this very day. I wish to enlist your aid in reclaiming that text. Should you require further incentive, know that I am willing to offer compensation for services rendered.
Something tells me this is no mere adventure story.
Did you leave yet?
I will not forget this kindness, my lord.
Leave.
First the skies.
Say what you will.
Oddly enough, there doesn't seem to be any new hunts.
Maybe Karen has seen
I wonder where I get that orichalcum from. Maybe it's one of the side quests. Doggo! He's just chilling.
Pining for something, boy.
Oh, I've loved the side quests up to this point. Absolutely loved them.
What do you see out there?
My only frustration is the rewards, and also
Where you got that anklet of yours?
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
That long ago.
Also, like, the side quests were really boring at the start. They were all like fetch quests and DoorDash quests. And the stuff you did fight was just like regular enemies. But about around the mid game to the end game, they've gotten a lot better. I still wish that we fought some unique enemies and some like unique enemy layouts in some of these side quests. It seems to always just be fight a group of goblins or fight a group of Akashic or fight this mini boss that you fought in the story again. You know, I wish it was like I wish the game had more mechanics, because if there was more mechanics with the enemies, it'd be really easy to come up with cool side quests. Like, okay, let's have a side quest where you have to go fight the Moorball again, but he has this buff, whatever. There's some kind of buff. Somehow it's stronger, you know what I mean? But the game doesn't really have any of those mechanics. It only has protect and cure, like the things that the mages do, and that's it. You can't just throw a mage into every fight. So there needs to be like something else we can do with the enemies to make the side quests more interesting, because otherwise it's just go do the same thing you've been doing. But other than that, the side quests have been amazing, and like I love the stories, I love the interactions, like everything about them is great. I just wish that they were more fun to complete, but like I said, they've gotten a lot better throughout the end of the game. There's been a lot more interesting ones with more interesting combat encounters, and they're better balanced between dialogue and combat. And I don't mind a DoorDash quest here and there just for world building, but there was just way too many of them at the start. Almost every quest was a DoorDash or a go here and pick up something and come back. So, but like I said, they got a lot better. The only real gripe I have with the late game quests are the rewards being poop. But at least the upgrade quests are cool. But the ones that aren't upgrade quests, like, come on. They're a total waste. I really just wish that Gil was better. I wish that there was something interesting to buy with Gil. And then you could have all the side quests just give Gil. And it would be fine. It would feel worthy of doing it. But there's nothing to buy, nothing to create. So all they do is just give us crafting materials that we're never going to use. It's just a shame. There needs to be like, I don't know what it would be, but I mean, I guess if the equipment system was better, if you could throw materials at a weapon you already have to like buff it, like Final Fantasy XIII, you know, how you could just throw money at upgrade materials and just upgrade weapons over and over and over again instead of just having +1, +2, and that's it. Then at least all these infinite materials we got would actually go towards something. What else do you spend Gil on in better games? Maybe if like, I don't know, ability points have been a waste ever since like mid-game, but maybe if abilities were more expensive and the side quests gave you ability points, that could have been something that would make the side quests feel more potent. Or like I said earlier, if the side quests actually gave you like a ton of XP, and XP was way more hard to come by, and leveling up took a lot longer, then the side quests could maybe be more potent. Just something, you know. At this point, you're truly only doing the side quests for the story, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but, you know. Like I said, that's my only gripe, is that I wish that there was better rewards. The upgrade quests, though, they've been perfect. Good story, good combat, good rewards, perfect. Love the upgrade quest. Pretty much every upgrade quest has been great.
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not.
I had a rash.
Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf, torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, you want that iron gone, you find what it is you're looking for. I reckon what he was looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long.
You better be sorry.
Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you?
Bork.
You want me to go with you somewhere?
Bork.
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly these past 10 summers.
Your kindness is appreciated. You've been a good friend to him.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you. Go on now.
How's it going, Emma? Welcome. What does keep 'em in nuts mean? Is this a British thing I don't know? Yeah, I think we give this something to Met, by the way. What is keeping someone in nuts? What does that mean? Is this a British phrase? No, nuts. Said you've been keeping him in nuts. Keeping him fed.
Miss Shirley says your books made quite an impression on me.
That makes
What
sense.
do you think happened to Miss Middledore?
Yeah, that's what she
I
said.
heard she was kicked out of the university.
She said, hold on. Good thing and all, it's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly. Kept him in nuts. That's what she said. So basically just making sure he didn't run out of nuts. Yeah, thank you for the gift of sub to Emma. Welcome back, Emma. Oh, great. Another kid quest.
Sid, you have to help us.
With what? You didn't take apart another of Mid's contraptions, did you?
No. Well, yes. But that's not what we want to talk to you about.
It's Miss Middledore. She's been acting strange. Very strange. She's barely ever around.
And when she is, she acts like we aren't even there. Her head's in a crowd.
In the clouds.
That's what I said. In the clouds.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind. When did you last see her?
Not long ago. Right after she got back from saving you from Stoneir.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise. It did take quite a battering on the way there and back.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid?
She's the one that sent it through the wall.
Careful around Miss Mididol's inventions.
It's her. It was she. She
Don't
did it.
listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise, you could put it back
I
together.
didn't break
couldn't
it.
You?
But who's gonna put Miss Mididol back together? She seems really sad.
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that for us. She's in her dungeon.
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning.
Dude, I love the way this game does kids. Like, it... Even back when we had Joshua as a kid, he acted perfectly like a kid. And now these kids are like... I swear, they must have given the kids that did... They must have had real kids do the voice acting, and they must have given them the lines, and then just been like, okay, read them once, and that's it. Don't memorize them, just read them once, and then just read it back from memory. And just be kids. Because I swear, they act perfectly like kids. I love it.
Nid, if you have a...
That's it! I knew it! The answer was right here under my arse all along! If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will.
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
You're dang right we are.
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. They're worried about you. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself away from everyone?
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm, and that's with the sea beneath her. But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound to anything at all? It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so I'm gonna do something about it. The Fallen had their chance, but they relied...
This is odd. It almost feels like they made this side quest, and then they made the main quest about flying to the crystal, and then they forgot that they made this a side quest. Because this would have come up in discussion not 2 minutes ago.
Too much on magic, and see where that got him. But not me. I've discovered how to do it without. Well, almost. First I need to make a prototype.
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you know the Enterprise is my baby. But if her godfather's offering to lend a hand, I'd be happy to take it. First, I'll need oil, and not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spits in the Tub and Crown. Refined stuff, like they make in Ordil. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Light, strong, preferably no longer attached to the beast it belongs to.
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breakers will know where you might find some.
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered to help, remember?
Wow.
I should speak with one of the curse breakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. There should have just been a moment in that cutscene where she said, like, well, maybe I could get the airship to fly, but it would take too long. And then during this scene, she could have just been like, hey, remember when I mentioned that flying airship? Yeah, I want to make a prototype. Like, that's all they had to do, and then it would make sense. But instead, it feels like they made this side quest and then later decided we need to fly to the crystal and then forgot.
Has Mididol mentioned a new...
And now this side quest feels oddly out of place.
Vivian, I read your note, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy. Are you sure?
Please. You have always granted me your wisdom and insight whenever I asked. It's only right that I return the favor. Or at least attempt to.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering the odd lecture. I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found, but... But perhaps it is best that you hear the details from him.
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, for asking this of you. But this book, It set me on the path to becoming who I am today. Its importance cannot be overstated.
What is it, like the beginner's guide to being a jerk? Just give me an example, too, of dialogues changing and us not understanding some older phrases, too. I remember seeing this video one time where it was theorized we could only realistically go back to about the 15th century before language barriers would become incomprehensible with modern English. I don't doubt that. It seems like whenever they make games that are based on super old English, it's more of just like old British English. You know, it doesn't actually go far enough back to where it would actually be historically accurate, because none of us would understand what the heck anyone's saying. How to Be a Butthole, the book.
All right, Sid.
I did read Beowulf, actually. I read Beowulf for a college English course. The same college English course that literally made me change majors. I never had an English major, but I started college as a computer science major because I didn't want to start as like an undetermined major. But I had thoughts of going into English. So I started as a computer science major, but for my first year, I took an English class, and I figured if I liked the English class, I would switch to an English major. And that class made me completely give up on English, both as a major or a minor. I completely gave up on it. I hated that class. I hated the teacher. It made me feel like so defeated as someone that was interested in English, because she just made me feel like everything I said was wrong. Like everything I had learned from kindergarten to high school about how to write stories, how to take a story and understand the concepts and themes and stuff. Everything I had learned, she just made me feel like it was all nonsense. Everything she said was like the opposite of what I thought. And I was just like, if this is going to be English, if this is going to be what all the English classes are like, I'm not doing this. She was. Honestly, I think she was. I think she was just a bad teacher, but like it completely defeated my desire to be an English major. This one class. But for that class, we read Beowulf. It was all right. It was not as hard to understand as I thought it would be, but it was definitely... you definitely have to read it twice. Sometimes you'll read a page and be like, yeah, I should probably read that page again. I understood absolutely nothing of what I just read.
It's around, have you?
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your share of beasts on your travels across the realm. Any ideas?
Most bones are the same. Whack 'em hard enough and they'll break.
Wow.
If it's durability you're
Profound.
looking for, shell will serve you better. You know what an adamantus is?
Oh, I know what an adamantoise is.
I don't know to give them a wide berth. Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient adamantus down in Korava.
Down in the beach near Korava.
What's left of the village anyway. But don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
So no new hunts, huh?
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bonds, is keen to join the curse.
I feel like it's been forever since we've been called
As you know,
Sid.
the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability. I was hoping you could oversee this one's evaluation.
I don't mind, but why this one?
Because he wants to be a scout. Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains and putting slavers to the sword. But scouting? We're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely so heavily on Gav. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the traits in him that we should look for in those who'd fill his boots.
Sounds reasonable.
So
I'll just have Gab do it.
test, then?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial.
Hey, Nomadic. Good to see you, man.
In
Thank you so much for the resub.
No time like the present, eh?
Almost 2
No
years.
time like the present. I'll await you there.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
You be careful up there.
I love that we can see the crystal now. Side quest for Joshua.
Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
Wow, it's me talking to my wife.
It's not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will, or something akin to it.
His will? How? Where?
In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but would you join me?
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are.
I think "of course" is Clive's catchphrase.
All right, Torgal. Where are you taking me? I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me?
Draw it in the sand.
Unless... you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck, you were looking west, toward Rosaria. Why don't we try the rookery?
So that wine that he gave me was basically just like, I already told you, you idiot.
Almost 20
Figure it
years.
out.
To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there.
I'm just knocking these out. Everything's together.
Clive, my boy!
Uncle!
Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to get involved, but such are the times we live in, huh?
I would have done the same for anyone else.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me, is the realm truly in as dire a state as Rutherford suggests?
That's my new favorite compliment to give someone. You'd make a terrible nobleman.
From what little I saw, you were right to be worried.
I suppose I should have expected the worst. But I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things a little more under control. Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply these days, and without it, the people are bound to lose their way. We must move quickly.
But where do we start?
True, the challenges that face us are many. But in my estimation, there are two key areas to be addressed before any other. The realm's armies and her larders. As you've seen firsthand, it's every man and woman for themselves out there. Certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some semblance of order, yes? But such cases are few and far between. And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. A unity that transcends even the borders laid down by our ancestors. In short, if Storm does not stand together, she will fall apart.
But how would one even begin to unite the realm?
The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by restoring order among the ranks of those sworn to maintain it. Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gaggle of privates to dig a latrine together.
The lowliest gaggle of privates. Another fantastic phrase.
But I do know someone the High Commanders have been known to listen to on occasion. Field Marshal Eugen Havel.
I thought he was retired.
He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is no man alive more capable. Literally.
Literally.
And as luck would have it, I've already spoken with him on the matter.
Of course you have.
And he's agreed to help. On one condition. That he first speaks with you personally. Havel has always been a man of frustratingly rigid principle, and he has certain qualms about clasping arms with, well, with an outlaw. I extolled your many virtues as best I could, of course, but the old goat was adamant that he be allowed to appraise you in person. You don't mind, do you, my boy?
Of course not.
As
long as chaos reigns, we will never build a better world. I'll do whatever it takes. And if the Field Marshal wishes to speak with me in person, then so be it.
That's the spirit.
I'll leave for Randalar at once. Would you send a Stolas?
Of course. Rutherford is already in the Dalmekian capital. I'll have him tell Havel to expect you forthwith.
Excellent. Thank you, Uncle.
No, thank you, Clive.
What's that goofy smile he's giving me? One thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to before. I really hope there ends up being a explanation as to why there's two fire icons, because we haven't really ever gotten a true explanation. Like, we kind of know that because Clive is special, he doesn't fit into the normal icon elements. So like that's why he's can be a second one. But there's still it still feels like Ifrit is something special, and like why is he fire? It could have been like any other element. He could have been like a special element like light or something. Like why specifically fire? And why does he specifically combine with Phoenix? Like I hope there's a better explanation other than just like, oh, he's special. You know? Like maybe there's a reason why there's two brothers who are both dominants. And that's why they're part of the mural. Like I really hope there's an explanation. It's not just like, well, there's all the icons and there's these two special ones. Like, hopefully there's more to it.
Ah, Clive, my boy.
Yo, Number, thank you so much, man, for the 66 months.
There's something I need to ask you. I've been charged with locating a book called From a Distance.
Then you seek a rare gem indeed. One whose name I had not thought to hear from your lips. You've been talking to Vivian.
Right as always. But she didn't seem keen to tell me very much. I take it she didn't like what you had to say.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade her. Clive, if the young professor has tasked you with obtaining a copy, I fear she asks the impossible. The executors would not allow it.
Sounds like something from Final Fantasy XIII.
Coveters of Secrets, a clandestine organization committed to the collection and intenebration of forbidden texts and technologies. One such text being the tome Vivian seeks, chronicling as it does the true history of the enslavement of bearers. A tale which could overturn the established order were it ever to become widely known. Or, so rumor has it. I've never actually read the thing, or even set eyes on it for that matter.
How is it that I haven't heard of this organization?
Why, secrecy is the executor's watchword. They lurk in the shadows. emerging only to seize that which must be seized, be it books, inventions, or people, before disappearing again, leaving nary a trace.
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her grasp not long after she found it.
By the hand of the executors, yes.
But what drives them? Self-interest or ideology?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the executors can be recounted in a single breath. You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the identities of their leaders. Any answer I give would be pure speculation.
Then my hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting? That I'd pluck it from thin air?
Not from thin air, no. From ash. Rumors of the executors are rife among the scholars of Storm, but rather less so across the strait. I have a friend. Well, I had a friend in the village of Garnik, a collector of rare tomes, upon which subject we would oft correspond. Alas, I have heard naught from him since the skies fell dark. And no doubt he too has turned. But though he did not mention it by name, it is possible that a surviving copy of From a Distance yet rests upon one of his many shelves, quietly awaiting discovery. If you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man's library, I know his soul would rest easier.
Very well. When I next find myself in Waloed, I'll be sure to pay Garnik a visit.
Oh, I definitely don't skip any of the side quest text boxes. They're all super interesting. Some of which I almost feel like are more interesting than the main quest stuff. Like, some of the world building and things we've gotten from the side quests have been super important to the main story. I don't think there's anything that's been like, if you didn't do it, you'd be lost, but definitely a lot of like important stuff. Oh boy, Doris. Is this gonna be like the finale to her quest? We'll find out in a second. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real fast. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real fast. Yote is the dominant of waifu. Alright, never mind. I'm just gonna end the stream.